This evening, we've got some great stuff going on. We are going to start this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance from one of our dream catchers right here in the front row. That's what you get for sitting in the front row, right? I'm going to introduce Brixton Moreno from Beechwood School to come up and start us with our pledge. Want him to do this one?
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready,
Begin our meeting tonight by taking a moment to pray or to meditate for those children and families that are suffering in this world, especially in the Ukraine. So I would like to take just a moment of silence to think about those that are having a really hard time right now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. We are going to start out our evening with some recognitions. It's always so nice to see our room full here with so many parents and families to celebrate our children. When things are bad, it's always nice to take a look at our future and look at our children, and let's appreciate everybody that's in this room tonight. So on that note, I am going to introduce, I believe we're going to start with Julian Lee. Where's Julian? Oh, there she is in the back. Oh, that's where the microphone is. Okay.
Hello, testing.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, President Berryman, Board of Trustees, Dr. Bob Flecka, and fellow cabinet members, guests. I'm going to make sure short and sweet. We have a video today celebrating something called STEM Nation Park, and it's going to say it all. But before we turn on the video, I would like to introduce to you Jason Chung. He is a coordinator of educational services and AKA Dr. Bob's Think Partner.
Good evening. In February, Ed Services was able to launch STEM Nation Park to the FSD community. In total, 17 elementary and K-8 schools were able to participate, and approximately 4,500 people attended over 3 days. With support with students from each FSD junior high school students, and community partners, STEM Nation Park was a huge success. Many schools have started STEM Nation clubs to prepare for STEM Nation Challenge Day, which will be a culminating event to celebrate student achievement. We have prepared a highlight video of the STEM Nation Park. We hope you enjoy.
Growth, opportunities, and experiences.
STEM Nation is innovation.
STEM Nation is the Disneyland of STEM.
STEM Nation is a fun family experience.
It's about really helping our kids think big and to dream big.
STEM Nation, it's now. It's today.
So STEM Nation is the brainchild of our school district, and what they wanted to do is pull together an opportunity for our families to come and get a hands-on approach to technology and to robotics and to all those things that go along with being STEM.
It felt like a theme park. So as I'm going through, then I go through the tunnel, and then I open up, and there are all of these kids and parents, and they're doing these different activities, and there's balloons and arches, and it really felt like you entered in to our version of STEM Nation and Disneyland.
We wanted to create an atmosphere that brought excitement about coding, about robotics for students, and we created it with different lands in mind.
To see the kids engage with the Lego exhibit, with the Lego robots, have been a huge hit.
We've been exploring the different lands, and my daughter had a great time. I like that even my young one can try different things. He was actually on the iPad trying to shoot the darts, and he kept trying to like aim it so he can shoot it. So even though he's young, like he actually has some exposure to, you know, STEM, and I think it was great.
I did Oldbot and the
something, yeah.
This has been a really wonderful event for us to engage our community. The Fullerton Ed Foundation's mission really is to engage and expose our students to different opportunities and experiences, and this event is exactly that.
Coding, drones, Lego robotics leads to unbelievable things for the future. I'm so proud that the Fullerton Education Foundation is part of this organization.
I think there's a lot of times where kids just don't know that they're interested in STEM. And so we wanted a place that they can come to where they don't have to feel intimidated. They can come with their parents and their parents can help them out and just kind of have that experience.
Being able to provide an opportunity for all kids to discover what is it that you're passionate about, what do you like. Maybe you don't know coding, but you come to an event like this and it just sparks.
We pride ourselves in the vision of our superintendent on personalized learning and student voice and agency. And so you can see that here. We have so many different types of robots and platforms, but our message to our students is don't be intimidated. You know, these things are within your grasp. There are coins you can use and further your passions, your interests, or something possibly in your career. It's not really about the robot or the code, it's about the activation that happens with the students. Once they try this one thing, I can try something else too, and I can learn that and I can master that possibly too.
We want to provide hands-on experiences. We want families engaged. We want families participating in the learning and the journey. So this experience has shown, I think, a way for parents to actually work with their children as well, not always being school-led or teacher-led or somebody else driving that initiative.
I can foresee like 10, 15, 20 years from now, a student maybe successful in the STEM field saying, the STEM Nation Park that started it all in my journey to becoming a scientist, an explorer, and an engineer.
Anyone here in this audience attend our STEM Nation event, our STEM Park? All right, great. If you didn't, now you see what it was, and next year you can be part of that. You too can be on that video. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. Thank you for all of your time and effort into that event. When other school districts are kind of not doing anything and they're just kind of waiting, I applaud our district for taking safety measures to make sure that everything was safe, but open up and give our kids that opportunity and give our families that time to be able to come together. Knowing that you had to do it over a series of weekends as opposed to one time, because of that, we truly, truly appreciate all the time and effort that you guys all put into it. So thank you for, on behalf of our children and our families of Fullerton. So thank you. Okay. All right, now we have Jeremy Davis to, I think we have another video.
We don't actually have a video. We just have an update on FSD Fest.
Okay.
So
all right.
We want to give you just some quick statistics. So April 1st and 2nd at Cal State Fullerton, we are having our STEM Nation. We normally have thousands of people come. We're very excited for it. We have a number of events. Our spotlight speakers, we had 50 students audition to become one of our TED Talk spotlight speakers, and we have chosen 8 who will be speaking on Friday night. Esports, over 325 students have been participating at 14 of our elementary and 2 of our middle schools. They have been whittled down to 6 team members per school. So we'll have 130 gamers at our esports competition that day. Our Passion Agents Conference, we had 180 students join our Google Classroom and our webinars to hear more about the Passion Agents Conference, and 75 of them have signed up to come do a poster session or a speaking session at our conference. Civic Endeavors, we have 50 students that have elected to come out to this year's Civic Endeavors competition. Film Fest, we have 50 films that have been submitted so far across 7 categories, and there will be a big film celebration that night on Saturday. League of Literacy, we have 700 students that have joined our League of Literacy competition, both online through the Google Classroom, and many of them will be coming to the event, plus 70 book cover illustrations. So for those that wanted to do art for the cover illustration instead of competing on the actual comprehension, we have 70 different pieces of art that will be up around the theater that day. Our innovation experience, we have 19 of our schools and departments signed up to be sort of showing off some of the great and amazing things that they're doing. So we are excited for anyone to come. It is an absolutely free event. Students can still sign up. We still have videos. Since there is a deadline in a couple of days, we get like 5 more each day as they're putting those finishing touches on their films. But we're just excited for everyone to come. So parents, community, everyone is welcome to the event, both Friday evening and all day Saturday, the 1st and 2nd at Cal State Fullerton at their student union. So we're just excited to see everybody, and we're excited for the enthusiasm that students and parents have shown this year to come be a part of the event.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope there are people in here that will be attending that. So thank you for that update. Lots and lots of people, lots and lots of students. All right. Jeremy, you're not going very far because you're up again. Yes, yes. Oh, okay. My honor to bring Wes up to talk about why most people are here tonight. So thank you.
Sorry, I was hiding in the translation area off to the side.
You cannot hide.
So everyone, what we want to do right now is put our dream catchers in the front of the room. So if they came here, we want to recognize them. Come to the front. We are going to honor you with a gift, and right up front, and I'm going to narrate as they move their way to the front. Now, what's incredible to me about these students is not only the time that we've spent together, taking photos for our posters that are up around the district, but they actually represent our 4th year of this initiative where we asked the school community to put forth some students who are doing amazing things, incredible things, interesting things, world-changing things right now. And so this is our 4th year, and I love every group just the same. I don't have any favorites, but I do, because they're right in front of us right now, I do want us to give a very big round of applause for our students. Okay. All right, I'm going to call your name one by one, then you'll rejoin the line. Ryan Hoffman, come and get your certificate right over here. Apple Lee. Holly Shiohama, Brixton Moreno, Annika Shaw, Enzo Pasalacqua, Giselle Wu, Elizabeth Rubio, Daniel Min, Max Inaretta, Raylinda Estrella, and last but not least, Kyle Monson. Give it up. We're going to kind of reform our line, and we're going to have a photo opportunity for families as they hold their Dreamcatcher certificates and posters. Again, what's special about this group is our school community forwards names to us of students who are actually putting their passions into practice and changing the world. So we have people who are entrepreneurs, people who are out pursuing their passion through sports. We have people who are engaged in creating entertainment through musical theater. Very, very talented group. And so we want to recognize them, and they become a beacon for us as the posters up on our school walls. it's an encouragement to other students to say, hey, I can do that too. I can put my passion into action. And so it goes hand in hand with STEM Nation and those initiatives where we have an opportunity for students to come out and spend time pursuing their passions and testing out, do I really have an interest in this, and FSD Fest, all these areas to explore. And so this is a moment where we get to kind of shine a light on some of our students who are shining a light into their community. So I believe in the wings there's some other things coming their way. So as they dismiss, should they go past you? Yes. I happen to know that there is something very delicious inside those boxes that you're going to receive. So would you put your hands together for this year's cohort of dream catchers? And starting with Elizabeth, yeah, we can make our way over and you will get your, yes, fabulous. And one more round of applause while they're making the way for our fabulous dream catchers.
If there are any siblings with the dream catchers, we have a cupcake for you guys too. So come on up and get one. Okay, we'll give a couple minutes. We have a few more wonderful recognitions. I know it's so exciting, so exciting. All right, Dr. Pletka, do you have a presentation? So we have some great schools in Fullerton, if you guys haven't already figured that out. We were able to celebrate a couple of our schools over the last couple weeks. So Dr. Pletka is going to take it away.
Testing. All right. I just want to take a moment first to recognize, so Julian and I had the opportunity to go up to Monterey and celebrate the two junior highs that showed incredible promise and was commended nationally as schools to watch. And so the first one that was newly named Parks Junior High. Parks Junior High has an incredible teacher leaders that have stepped up, have really led the way. A couple things to note. Did you know that they have an AP English class that is typically offered at a high school level? And last year they had almost 30 students pass the AP English and actually get college credits. They have a robust electives program, everything from arts and music. As an example, I know they just had a student win at a state level in the areas of chorus. They also had students recognized for their art. So they have an incredibly robust arts program. They also, something that they've put into place in the last few years, also a very strong intervention program for students that need that extra assistance. And lastly, wanted to mention that they also have had an incredible sports program over the years. It's a very they offer a very diverse, well-rounded opportunities for our students, and they were recognized nationally as the schools to watch. Join me in a big round of applause for them. we have flowers for you guys.
If the staff would Parks, come on up. Don't be shy. Come get your recognition. They're shy? Is there anyone? Oh. I would say that counts. Maybe they're trying to find a parking space.
All right, I'm going to move right on.
We'll come back.
To Ladera Vista, that was reestablished as a schools to watch. Have a big round of applause for you. I want to take a moment to recognize some of the very outstanding programs they have. Just to name one of the areas that they have excelled is in the area of arts, the triple threat. Everything that they've done in terms of the visual arts, as well as, thank you so much, as well as some of they just had a musical theater that came out. And I don't know if you know this, but their principal, Mr. Lynch, actually had a small part in that bit of musical theater. So I want to recognize not only Bill Lynch and Morgan, but every single teacher that helps to make it an outstanding program, every staff member. And so how about join me for a big round of applause for Ladera Vista.
Come on up, LV. Come on up, staff.
Yeah.
It doesn't get old, right? It doesn't get old.
Right. There we go. Yes.
I do want to take a moment to recognize that Parks got second place in poetry and LV got second place in prose for an international competition on the Holocaust. And it was presented last week at Chapman University. And it was Friday. And students came from all over the world to participate in the anointing at the competition.
Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you guys for all that you do. Being a parent in the district, I know that junior high is scary, right? So as your students move on and as they go on to junior high, I know it's always one of those things, we always get those calls, oh my gosh, they're going into junior high, what do I do? As you can see, we have great schools. It's a scary age. It's just, how it is. So stay involved, continue what you guys are doing, and look what happens. We do some great work. So thank you all for everything that you guys have do. We love to have you looking out for our kids and being there for them. So thank you very much. So one more hand for our junior highs. Dr. Hammett, already at the podium, ready to go.
Good evening. I'm just so glad to be able to represent and acknowledge some of our employees this evening. Seems to be a night of data, so I'll start out with some data. In Orange County, there are 28 school districts. There are over 600 schools and 42,000 school district employees. And that's just in public schools. There also are a whole series of private schools and charter schools and different schools in Orange County that employ more people and provide services to more students. We have 5 employees that have been honored by Parenting OC magazine. And what's unique about this award is these employees are being honored because they were voted on by our parents, by our community, by our own folks who are receiving services and education from these employees to say, hey, these employees are some of the best in Orange County. And on February 23rd, Parenting OC held a ceremony, a celebration to celebrate our folks. And I would like to call our 5 employees up. I know they're not all here tonight, but many of them are. So I'd like to ask them all to go up front so I can embarrass them a little bit and really talk about what they have done and why they've received these awards. So I'd like to invite Dr. Helene Morris to step up front. Joanne DeClaro. Penny Endicott. Veronica Kraus. No, she's not here this evening. And Elizabeth Zollner. As I mentioned, there are over 28 school districts and 42,000 employees. The Fullerton School District was able to garner 5 recipients of these awards from our votes of our own community, our own staff, and our own employees. So this is an amazing feat. I would like to highlight a few of our folks. As part of the top 20 school employees, Joanne DeClaro, who is not here this evening, was selected as one of the top 20 school employees in Orange County. Penny Endicott, Veronica Kraus, and Elizabeth Zollner were all selected as one of the top 25 teachers in Orange County. That's out of more than 20,000 teachers in Orange County. And Elizabeth Zollner was selected as Parenting OC's top teacher in Orange County for 2022. I also want to highlight Helene Morris. Helene Morris, out of many school leaders, was selected as one of Orange County's top 5 school leaders. Congratulations. We are so proud of our teachers, our leaders, and our classified employees. They work tirelessly to ensure that our student needs are met. And we're just so glad to honor you this evening and to thank you for everything that you do for our students. And again, let's give them one big round of applause.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
Wait, one more, Joanne.
What?
One more behind you.
Oh, Joanne! Oh, she's trying to hide. She was probably still at her desk doing work. I know this is hard for Joanne. Joanne is usually a behind-the-scenes person, but our district could not run without Joanne DeClaro. She takes care of all of our attendance. She makes sure that all the students are accounted for on a daily basis and that we get all of our reports into the state. Additionally, and I don't know how she does it, I don't think she sleeps, she also is involved in the leadership with CSEA and helps support our classified employees. So Joanne, thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you again.
Guys, you're awesome.
Okay, I'm going to just let everyone know we're going to move on to the rest of our board meeting. So if you guys want to just stretch and...
Wait, before you
This
go,
might be the time.
if any of you play golf and you
Oh,
want
hold on.
and you want more of these great activities, we have a golf tournament April 11th. Fullerton Education Foundation. Come and support our kids and our programs.
I figured that eventually you guys were going to get up and be leaving, so I'll just give you an opportunity to do that now before it gets embarrassing and we call you out as you're walking. Okay.
Goodbye. Enjoy.
Feel free to stay, though. Okay, on that note, we are going to get Dr. Bob ready. I know, cleared right out. Sorry, guys. I figured it was easier than having it happen during our presentations and less disruptive. Okay. All right, our superintendent's report. I believe that's where we are. In a moment.
So just want to take a moment to recognize, I don't know if Kristen is still here.
I didn't think it would clear out that much.
But I want to recognize Ms. Holm for her work today, as well as Ed Services, as well as IIS, to bring, and I know Mrs. Sugarman had something to do with it as well, but was able to bring LeVar Burton in and read to the kids at that event, as well as the ABC came out. So actually somebody had it up going as we were speaking. The ABC had that event. And the Tonys, which was the organization, they donated 100 Tonys, which is basically a box that reads his book. He read the book that he had authored at that event. Very gracious. He did autographs for the kids. He was also Geordi in Star Trek, for those of you. And he was also he was actually in Roots. And of course, Reading Rainbow was his actually claim to fame, I think, among the newer generation. So just to say, it was an incredible event, and want to give a special shout out. By the way, I think Miss Holm was in, wasn't she? Romper Room. So today she really showed that other skill set. The kids were all like chanting for Mr. Burton. It was actually very exciting. So thanks to the entire team that put that together. I know also, I think Wes and as well as Brooke and other people were involved in streaming that, the reading of that across the district to other kindergarten, first grade, and second grade classes. So it was really a team effort, and just want to acknowledge that. And it's kind of exciting. It was exciting. I think there was a little bit of fandom. I think Dr. Lee said that she really loved him from Star Trek. So there we go.
Just to jump on and add to that, we have a video we're going to show in a second here. Do you guys have that ready? So that you can get a feel for it. And Dr. Pletka, it was streamed throughout our district, but it was also streamed to something like 2,000 other venues across the country. And so Fullerton really made it in classrooms throughout this country.
First, a big treat for the students at an Orange County school. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio is live and turns the page on this new story. George.
All right, Giovanna, David, good afternoon. Students at Richmond Elementary School in Fullerton got a literary treat today. Actor LeVar Burton hosted a story time event.
Well, would you like me to read you a story? I know just the one to help you feel better.
Burton read his book, The Rhino Who Swallowed a Storm, to the students in person at the school. It was also live streamed. It's long been Burton's mission to promote childhood literacy. He's especially concerned about kids now after COVID.
We can, through the storytelling, we can teach our kids anything. Pick a subject, history, science. We've got to focus on it. The future of this country, the future of the world depends on it. We cannot leave these kids behind.
All right, thank you, LeVar Burton, always doing good deeds for our kids in Los Angeles and beyond.
Oh, and Dr. Lee has some surprise presents that even the superintendent doesn't know about. Dr. Lee?
So, Lieutenant Commander Gordon LaForge actually touched these books. You know, they've been personally signed by him, and he wanted it gifted to every member of the board. So, you have a signed
Superintendent.
Yes,
Okay.
and he will be giving his copy to his grandson.
Thank you. This book is about resilience. He wrote it after 9/11, and it's so timely right now. So timely.
I should have read the book before I went. I should have read the book before I went today because I was in there sobbing. I was the one sitting there just, yeah, very timely. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's the end of your report there? Okay, great. Yeah, I always forget where I'm at. Oh, information from the Board of Trustees.
I'm sorry, can I throw in one more thing?
Yes, you may.
So Sarah Cooper was named Teacher of the Year for Fullerton School District for elementary. And Lamar Burton was there, which is, she's also kind of a little fandom there. And so she got to celebrate this big event with him right there. He gave her a big, hug, and it was a really, it just was kind of very powerful. And I could tell Sarah was pretty touched by it too.
Yes.
So.
Very special day. Very special day. Okay, all right. We'll start with Trustee Meyer. Janet.
Thank you. One of the fun things that I got to do in the last month since we've met is I went to the Ducks tournament, and I got to be part of it, and I want to thank Jason. Are you still in here, Jason? Well, he coerced me to get up there and make a fool out of myself, and I think I did a good job of that. Also, Allison Garcia and Donna Miller, I want to give kudos to those two ladies who did so much.
Janny, to piggyback on you, I think we have a video.
Okay. Well, next I want to thank Kristen Holmes again. I don't know if you heard the first kudo from Dr. Bob, but you're getting all sorts of things tonight. Thank you for putting that on. And she was in front of the school and met everybody who came in, and they only were able to come in one entrance. And you can imagine some of the people who wanted to come another way, but she so graciously took them in. Thank you for your good job. Also, the Ladera Vista Block Party was a chilly night, but it was a warm, embracing event. And then tomorrow night we have the block party at Parks. Looking forward to that. So I'll leave it at that.
You want to look at the video
now? Are you ready to play some hockey today or what?
We're here at Richmond Elementary for what was an annual street hockey tournament that has triumphantly returned here. We have 23 teams representing every elementary and middle school in the Fullerton School District.
This is an amazing event, so thank you to the Anaheim Ducks for coming on and partnering with the Fullerton School District. Not a lot of the students get the opportunity of playing hockey outside of school, so this gives them a great opportunity of coming on out and participating.
We are so proud to be partners with the Anaheim Ducks Score program. They have brought their initiatives to our school. We do Reading as a Goal, First Flight Field Trip, Captain's Challenge. FSD is rocking today. We hope we do the Ducks proud.
The Ducks have been instrumental in providing an experience and providing support for not only our community, but our teachers and our district. The Ducks have been really amazing in providing what sometimes is difficult to do as a school district. So being able to reach out and to pull in, and we're able to do that with the Ducks.
At the end of the day, it's about providing experiences, inspiring opportunities for the kids in the community. Fullerton does that really, really well, and it is one of the main objectives of any staff member that works for the Anaheim Ducks, whether you're a front office or you play defense for the team. The expectation is that you give back to the community, and this is what this day is really all about.
Why wouldn't anyone go to Fullerton School District, right? Okay.
So much amazing things going on. Keep mine short and sweet. Also wanted to kind of give kudos for the block party that happened at Ladera Vista. It was a chilly night. Looking forward to tomorrow's at Parks. Hopefully be a little bit warmer as we're feeling today. So yeah, and just enjoying all the kids out at schools and the community coming out as well too. So everyone being engaged with STEM Nation and all that. So it's great to see everyone kind of coming out.
Thank you. All right, we'll go Haruni.
Right, it just feels like spring, and it feels like good times are here again. New growth on the trees, no masks, more pollen and allergies. It's great. Just wonderful to see all the students being honored, so many programs making the news in a good way. You know, what more can you ask for? I went to the production at Orangethorpe of The Lion King this past Friday. I laughed, I cried. It was better than Cats. It was incredible. To families celebrating spring through Nowruz or Holi, the Festival of Colors, it's just so wonderful to sort of be in this moment with hopefully the pandemic waning and just the wonderful goodwill of everything going on in the Fullerton School District sort of coming back. Good luck to UCLA, a little bit of luck to USC, lots of luck to our very own Cal State Fullerton in March Madness. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's good times. I hope everybody stays safe.
Thank you.
We're about to go on vacation. That's really good times. And people appreciate that. The only other thing I'd like to kudo everybody, especially the team in Dr. Lee's department for putting on 6 weeks of programs be above and beyond the school day. It's so huge. They really have been working 6-day weeks and probably more than that, because on Sunday, after they finally have a little bit of time to sleep, they're probably planning for the next activity. And I think our community really, really appreciates it. And I also want to compliment Champions for Learning for all the classes that were put on Saturday. I know that the turnout we wish was higher, but it's amidst all of these events, and it's really a lot to ask parents to come every weekend. And this is baseball season, Little League, and they also want to do that with their children. So finally, a final plug for the golf tournament, April 11th. It's really going to be fun. I say that because today I got to pick out the trophies.
Oh.
So please come and be surprised. And if you don't play golf, don't worry. We have the most interesting putting tournament. There will be bottles of alcohol and beer all over the putting green. And any bottle you hit is yours. And it should be a lot of fun.
New way of playing mini golf.
It's not mini golf, it's booze ball. And so come and give it a try. We also have $55 you can come for dinner. It's a barbecue dinner and enjoy the fun and not have to be in the sun. So any way you want to do it, please come and join us. We'd love to have you. It's at Alta Vista Country Club in Yorba Linda. And for those who do play golf, it's a club maybe you don't have the opportunity to get to play. If you don't play golf, but you know a friend that should be playing golf, tell them to sign up. Because, again, these are the activities that help pay for STEM Nation and for Fullerton Fest, and we really need you to help. They also pay for 6th graders to go to outdoor ed, and we gave $10,000 this year for Richmond and Pack Drive students to be able to go to outdoor ed. So, and teacher grants and all sorts of things. But those are a few of the things that we fund. And for those saying, well, what'd you give to Fullerton Fest and all that? I think it's a total of $40,000 or $50,000. And we haven't been able to raise money for 2 years because of COVID. So we really need to be successful this year on these events. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Hilda. All right. Good. I'll try and make mine short. I was able to represent our board for the Schools to Watch ceremonies. So watching that and just seeing how what our schools do compared to other schools, we definitely are leaders in what we do. So thank you guys for all of your time and efforts with that. It is the season of all of the theater and all of the plays and everything. It's so fun to watch our kids in their performances. From, like you said, already The Lion King. I had forgotten all about Scar in The Lion King.
Whoa.
Again, crying. Jack and the Beanstalk at Rolling Hills, watching that. So some great things going on along with everything that you guys are talking about. I did have the opportunity to participate in a conference called How Are Our Children? Where's Ruthie? Back there, Ruthie. Sponsored by the Vanguard University, the Ensure Justice Conference. So I was able to participate in a panel to discuss our district and what we have been doing for our mental health services and an array of different things about just how are our children doing and where are they at. And I was with a representative from Santa Ana School District, from the superintendent of Buena Park, and an instructor from Vanguard who used to be part of OCDE. So I was able to do that. Hope I represented us well. In addition to that, it's been a busy time with legislation, and really we had the opportunity. I don't know if there's anyone from PTA here. Is there anyone from PTA? Okay. Oh, are you? Is anyone going to say anything from PTA? Do we have a spokesperson? So we had our Orange County, what they call Sacramento Safari. So the 2 days of having speakers talk about what's happening with the budget, what's happening in education, what's happening with early childhood education. We were then had Dr. Shirley Weber, our Secretary of State, speak to us as a keynote speaker on the Monday evening. It was all virtual, right, because it wasn't time to go to Sacramento yet. And then the second day was hearing 4 of our legislators talk about what's hot on their dockets right now, and being able to ask some really intense pointed questions. So I found out a lot of information. I won't bore you guys with that right now, but I might try and share the notes with you guys so that you can hear about it. So very interesting times. I believe that's all I will share right now. So moving along. We have our associations. So is anyone from DLAC here this evening?
President Berryman, I'll be reading for Mrs. Nunzi.
Okay. Is your microphone on?
Good evening, President Berryman, school board members, executive cabinet, Superintendent Dr. Pleka, and all families present and those listening. Thank you to Dr. Julian Lee, Dr. Linda Soltero Ruiz, and Nadia Williams for their commitment to our parent-family engagement training. The School Smarts program has started at Nicholas and the 10th Educational Commandments program at Valencia Park. These trainings provide tools and resources that continue to empower and support parents to navigate the school system, so in return they can help their children reach their full academic potential. We would like to acknowledge Champions for Learning for an amazing event that offered so many resources for the community. The parents were so impressed with the amazing learning opportunities offered by our school district. We would like to give our thanks for the Korean DLA meeting held yesterday. The DLAC committee greatly supports this new opportunity for our students and community to immerse themselves in the Korean language and culture. DLAC invites you to our next meeting on April 15th at 9 a.m. at Rolling Hills. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a wonderful spring break. Mrs. Nunzi, DLAC President.
Thank you. All right. Again, thank you very much. There is no PTA?
We do not have a PTA.
Okay, all right. CSEA, who do we have this evening? Oh, yeah.
Of the mask mandate, those additional hours have been reduced. We are grateful to the district for the opportunity that lasted just shy of 2 years. We hate to see the hours end, but we also understand why they must. There are a few areas that we are still holding steady on, and that is with our custodial staff and nutrition services. We are continuing the extra attention to cleaning and feeding our students. Our nutrition services department will continue serving breakfast, lunch, snack, and supper through the end of the school year. Since school will not be in session next week due to spring break, nutrition services will also prepare 7-day meal kits for distribution this week. They strive to ensure that our families will have everything that they need while they're away. Additionally, nutrition does more than just feed our students. They will be at tomorrow's block party to encourage families to give their input to our LCAP. They are participating in the Taste of California federal grant program, where students can create a recipe and compete to have it become an official USDA recipe.
Cool.
Along with students, they are also participating in a Master Chef-inspired competition where students are tasked with preparing a 3-course meal. Our transportation department has some great news to share. For the first time in 4 years, they are fully staffed.
Ooh.
They found 2 wonderful new recruits that just passed probation, and they had 5 people graduate from our bus driver training program who were hired onto our team. But through it all, they have remained focused on student safety and have addressed it in several different ways. The training department are working with the new drivers to make them, or to help them become more familiar with the student stops and city streets, and they are being set up for success. All our buses were installed with bipolar ionization to clean and filter the air, and disinfectant sprayers continue to be utilized regularly. Drivers also received a 5-part training on crisis prevention intervention and positive behavioral interventions and supports, that's CPI and PBIS. They were able to learn essential strategies for student safety and for their professional development. In fact, just 2 days after the training, drivers were able to implement these new strategies with positive results. And the last department I would like to touch on is our payroll department. And they have been busy paying teachers their independent study stipends and implementing the changes for classified and management after we closed negotiations. After tonight's MOUs and FIDA's TA are hopefully approved, fingers crossed, they will be busy, and I think busy is an extreme understatement. So thank you to the payroll department for working hard and diligently. We appreciate you every day. We also are sincerely grateful to Pamela Zinnel and her FIDA negotiations team for fiercely pursuing the seamless service stipend and the social emotional learning stipend. And we will all benefit from taking some much needed time to focus on our personal well-being and mental health. We look forward to diving into the robust collection of resources our Ed Services, CWA, Benefits, and IIS departments collaborated together to create from scratch. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, FIDA. And while he's coming up, I did bring tonight some little cards on reminding you how to manage stress. And has some tips in it. So I brought some for everybody. So I've got them here. I'm going to.
We could all use those. Yeah, so good evening, President Berryman, Board of Trustees, Dr. Pletka, Executive Board, teachers, parents, and guests. My name is Mark Jacobs. I'm president of FETA. And I'd like to report to you that our teachers are happy to have received our kids back from class this week. We saw some students' faces for the first time ever, and it was really, really wonderful. The option to wear masks has allowed us to see and connect with many more of our students. Though very few cases are now being reported, still some prefer to wear a mask, but many are choosing not to. It's wonderful to see our students again. Visual connection is so important in teaching. I've really realized that. School is beginning to feel a little bit more normal, and we really hope we end the year this way. Now, this week is also Parent Conference Week, and our teachers are prepared and are enjoying meeting with our students and parents in person or via Zoom. I'd like to acknowledge again the immense efforts of our teachers and our classified staff for all that they do. For example, our teachers are managing regular school lessons, learning loss intervention groups, arranging activities last week for Read Across America Week, iReady testing for Diagnostic 2, arranging field trips to camp or to Fern Drive's Creativity Center, or facilitating after-school programs such as speech and debate, and preparing for the FSD Fest, which is coming up here in April. And by the way, FETA donated $100 to each school, including distance learning, a gift card from Barnes & Noble in commemoration of Read Across America Week. We thank the administration for working with FETA in mitigating the effects, or at least we're trying to mitigate the effects of inflation and improving working conditions. We really are grateful. Still, according to the Wall Street Journal, current inflation rate now has reached nearly 8% and is expected to be the new normal for the foreseeable future. Decreasing purchasing power is and will be an ongoing concern not only for FETA, but for all of us. Though there are many tools in education, the most effective tool in a child's education is a person, a trusting relationship, a good teacher. We continue our dialogue also with the district on how to improve effective strategies to deal with difficult student behaviors and teacher-student safety. And we hope to collaborate to refine and improve our protocols as we meet later this month to discuss. Also, our distance learning school is growing. At least it looks like that to me, or it's going to continue on around next year. And we think we have a really wonderful distance learning program. And so we're also working with administration to refine and improve how that works. So a big thank you to Dr. Hammett for listening today to us. And I'd like to give a big shout out to our distance learners, learning teachers, because they are kind of spread across the district and often aren't seen except through with their students. And so I'd like to give a big shout out to all they do, as well as all our PE teachers as well at each site too, and all the things that they do to be adaptable and flexible in teaching and providing creative and engaging ways to learn. So in closing, on behalf of FETA, I thank all of you, board members. I thank administration and all that is done to help support us and to solve problems. Thank you.
Okay, and good evening, President Berryman, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Pleka, and members of Cabinet and community. My name is Robin Gilligan. I'm the president of our Administrators Association, and I just wanted to highlight a few congratulations. One to Dr. Helene Morris, who was the administrator who received the OC Parenting honoree, as well as also our other members who were highlighted tonight by Dr. Hammett. So huge, big deal to be recognized, and Dr. Morris is very behind the scenes. She was a very humble person, and so she, I know it's a big deal to be able to receive that. And we're very proud to have one of our administrators a part of that. In addition to that, I also want to congratulate Ladera Vista Junior High as well as Parks Junior High for receiving the Schools to Watch. I know that there is a whole team behind achieving these honorees and these awards, but the leadership at the schools also helped to drive a vision forward, and so I want to thank the leadership as well as the whole entire school team for that. And then, of course, to Rosanna Fonseca and her team that helped to organize the Champions for Learning event that we had on Saturday. And again, lots of different sessions that parents had opportunities to go to. Some people in the audience were a part of that, and we had a lot of administrators on our team that also were presenters for that. So a big thank you to providing additional resources to our community. And we saw lots of champions there that were helping in our resource fair in the gym at Ladera Vista, and lots of different connections and networking that could have happened as well over there. So a big kudos to Rosanna and the team that helped to put that on. And then finally, I just want to let you know that we have rescheduled our Every Student Succeeding event that we put on every year. And so it will be on April 13th. And that is, I will give you more information on that and the location. We just wanted to nail down trying to get a date. So now that we have that, we're going to be moving forward with more information for you. But that is an event where we honor one student from every school who has succeeded despite maybe some of the challenges or the roadblocks in life that they've encountered. And it's an opportunity that really highlights that students' tenacity and endurance and strive to keep pushing regardless of what maybe they have faced. And again, that is a team approach from the school and the family coming together. So it's a great event to come and see students being honored for that. And bring your Kleenex. That's right, because the stories will touch your heart. So thank you.
April 13th. Yes. Thank you. And I do believe we might have a PTA message now. Ruthie?
Jumping in here, I just received it via email, but I'm going to read a letter that comes from Wendy Reed, our PTA Council President. So she writes, "Good evening, President Berryman, board members, Dr. Pletka, cabinet, and guests. We have had a big and busy week, many busy weeks lately. On February 17, we celebrated 125th birthday or Founders Day for PTA. Yes, that's 125 years. A group of moms got together and decided they needed to advocate for all children to have the right to a good education, and we are still doing that today. Moms and dads, lots of parents and members with us, I'd say. Our own Fullerton Council of PTA was formed in 1933, making us the third oldest council in Orange County. Also, Orange County, our 4th district PTA, is the largest PTA district in the nation. It was fun to celebrate all of our accomplishments, but also a great way to be reminded of why we do what we do. We have also just wrapped up our annual conference called Sacramento Safari, which Bev shared about, where we were able to speak with, listen to, and learn from our senators and members of Congress and other officials in Sacramento about the work that's being done to support and improve education, mental health support for our students and teachers, school safety, and much more. Sadly, it was held virtually again this year, but it was a great 2 days on Zoom. A big thank you to our very own Bev Berryman, who was our facilitator. And it was great to see many of the faces that are here tonight and this past Saturday, also at the Champions for Children event at Ladera Vista. We look forward to seeing all of you again at the next FSD party tomorrow evening. So we hope we enjoy a much-deserved spring break coming up next week. Sincerely from Wendy Reed, Christy Carter, and the entire Fullerton Council PTA board. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ruthie. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now we will move on to public comments. I will read our little blurb on that. The board meeting follows rules of decorum per board bylaw 9323. Persons who wish to comment on topics included on the open session agenda are invited to attend in person and submit public comments. The board limits the total time for public comment on each item to 20 minutes. The total time allowed for public comment shall be 30 minutes. Public comments about an item that is on the agenda will be heard at the time the agenda item is considered by the board. Public comments about an item that is not posted on the agenda will be heard at the beginning of open session when called upon by the board president. No action or discussion may take place on an item that is not posted on the agenda, except as expressly authorized by law. Since the board cannot take action on items that are not on the agenda, such items will be referred to the superintendent for handling. Board members may request that an item be placed on a future agenda for further discussion. The board president and the superintendent will determine the best time and place for an item on the agenda. With that, we do have some public comments, and I believe that they were all on items that are not on the agenda. Correct? Okay, because there were some that were blank, so I'm just assuming that they weren't for items on the agenda. Okay. First person, Scott Townley. Feel free to come up to the podium. Welcome, Scott. And family, and pup.
Pardon me, I forgot my glasses. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Pletka, President Berryman, and the rest of the school board, and all the parents that are here tonight that are concerned about different issues. My name is Scott Townley, and I have spoken to you guys all before, so you're familiar with me. My wife, Julie, and I are speaking on behalf of our grandchildren who are students in the Fullerton School District. I want to start off by thanking the entire school board for giving the parents the choice to allow their children to remove the masks inside and outside of the classroom. I have witnessed firsthand the mental improvement of my oldest grandson today, and I pray to God that he gets better each and every day. I'm speaking to you tonight about two resolutions, or two assembly bills that are on the table right now. One is Assembly Bill 866, the other one's 1993. Our children should be
871.
Our children should be able to be guided by their parents, not the decisions of politicians. Assembly Bill 871 allows our children to make decisions for themselves for vaccines, to get vaccinated or not to be vaccinated. Children 12 years of age are in a critical time of brain development and do not have the mental capacity to make medical decisions such as vaccinations. In my job as a firefighter, we can only treat life-threatening injuries to a child that's under the age of 18 without the parent's permission. And why is that? Children cannot make these decisions. Their brains are not developed. The entire medical community knows that children cannot make these decisions. The law has been put in place to protect our children and has been in place for many years. I'm urging you, the Fullerton School Board, to please write a resolution to our state legislature to strongly oppose Assembly Bill 871. As far as Assembly Bill 1993, this bill allows any employer to require that the staff must be vaccinated. This is and should be a personal choice for all Americans. It is our right and freedoms as Americans to live our lives and to make our own choices. It is wrong to take this away from us. Every American has the freedom of the choice to live and decide what is right and what is wrong for their particular lives. No employer should be able to take these freedoms away from them. So I'm asking once again if the school board would please write a resolution to the state legislature and oppose Assembly Bill 1993. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. Okay. Is it John Schuler? Yeah. Okay. I did say 3 minutes, right? Did I say that when I was reading? Okay.
Yeah, we'll be super brief.
Okay, that's
no
all
worries. Gang, thank you for hearing me. I'm just going to quickly say that I'm really grateful to be here. Fullerton's a really special place. I think we all know that. I think that's why anyone is here and spending their time here. And in almost any way that I can think of, Fullerton is an extremely diverse community. And that's part of why I've fallen in love with it. We moved here about 6 years ago. I've got 2 kids at Golden Hill. My wife works at Golden Hill. We freaking love it. It's a giant privilege to live here. Part of that is the choice that you guys have fought so hard to protect. And we all know about the quiver of legislation that's coming down. I'm not going to list that all out. I'm sure all you obviously know it better than we do. And we all know what's happened in LA as they've mandated these vaccines for the kids and for workers. Really what has happened is that families who have vaccine concerns are missing out. We see that with the results that are coming from the kids right now. Parents and education workers with vaccine concerns and means are able to sidestep and get around these things. They can leave. They can go to private schools. They can do that. But families that don't have means are being put in a tough spot. Families without vaccine concerns and means have less skin in the game because they will later be able to buy their way out of any sort of fallout that might come from the vaccine itself. So all that I'm asking is that on behalf of those in our community with less means, that the district speak out against these upcoming bills and protect the spirit of diversity and choice that Fullerton School District has so carefully curated. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I have Sarah. Sarah, could you give me your last name so I can put it on here? Okay.
Okay, thank you. I've been here before, so I apologize. Try not to get emotional. First off, I want you to know how much I appreciate, and I know so many families in this district appreciate your fight for us for choice. And I know there's only so much control you do have, but I feel like as, you know, we're coming out of this pandemic and everyone's all excited, these masks are being lifted. I feel like it's a tease and it's false security for a lot of us with these mandates that are being pressured on these bills. I feel like they can just drop it on us on a second. So I'm very concerned and very frustrated. I want to say something really quick. I just observed this room was packed when I walked in here, full of educators, principals, teachers, parents, and they all left when half of them have families here or jobs on the line. And I'll tell you this right now, if these mandates go through with the state, there is going to be an army of us families exiting this district, if not this state. And it's heartbreaking, but my family is one of them. I'm literally waiting for the district or the state to say what's going to happen. They're either going to do it or they're not. I just wish they would tell us, because if not, we're gone. And I know a lot of people are. I don't want to, and that's why I get so emotional. Anyway, these numbers are going down. People are taking the mask off, but we're still talking about vaccinating these children. And I don't want to go on about the vaccine, but we just witnessed 4 months of this bad, you know, these numbers were crazy. And I'll be honest, half of your staff, if not more than half, that are all boosted and vaccinated were absent with COVID. And like I said, I don't wish that on anyone. But the point showed right there that that vaccine did not do anything in protecting people from not getting it. So I just pray that people start waking up, the state starts fighting for our children, because there's no sense in forcing people and parents and children to take this when there's no evidence and stuff's not supporting it. And I hate to go against the vaccine like that. I guess I don't care who takes it, who's not, but it just terrifies me that the state's pushing this. And I feel like you give them this power, they're going to take more from us. So I just pray, keep advocating. I feel like you guys can, I know you can only do so much, but please do more at the state level. Please write and fight for us. And I'll be honest, I feel like there should be a lot more teachers and educators here, because you know what? These numbers are going to go down. And it's heartbreaking. Anyways, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Julie Stockstill.
Good evening, Dr. Pledka, President Berryman, board members, cabinet, and staff, and community. I just appreciate the opportunity to speak. I went to high school with Sarah, who just spoke. We are lifelong Fullertonians. I went to Golden Hill, Nicholas, and then Fullerton High School with Sarah. I want to thank you all for lifting the mask. I can't tell you what that meant to so many of our families. I also want to thank you for drafting the letter by Dr. Pledka at the end of the year. Obviously, the laws that are proposed, the bills that are on the table right now, are why I'm here and of my utmost concern. We're at a very pivotal time, and I feel like the board is so fundamental in where we are in history. It's very difficult once our freedoms go away to get them back. I think that so many are aiming to strip our parental rights as well as our personal rights. And it's threatening our body autonomy, which is so major. And I believe Scott really was able to verbalize that way better than I. But we've seen firsthand, how people will fight to maintain the democracy that they have. And it is so important that we maintain our freedoms as we navigate these bills that are now placed in front of us. And you, as our entrusted board members, we really have left these big decisions in your trusted hands. And you have done so right by us. And I'm here to ask that you write a resolution in opposition of many bills that are of concern: SB 871, SB 866, SB 1479, and AB 1993. All of those bills affect our children in our districts as well as our staff in our districts. And let us protect our parental rights and our staff rights to choose without coercion. For me personally, I will take my kids and figure out something else. And like John had mentioned, I don't have, a vast amount of means, but I will make it happen because I feel that strongly that I don't feel the risk outweighs the benefit for the vaccines for the kids. So anyways, I appreciate the opportunity to speak, and I appreciate your heart and mind to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Amy Freeze.
Good evening, Dr. Pletka, Board President Berryman, board members, cabinet, community, teachers, staff, and parents. Thank you all for being here and for your support. I'm Amy Freeze. I'm a former Fullerton School District teacher, so this is very near and dear to my heart, and I'm also a Fullerton School District parent. And first, I want to say that I am entirely grateful for being a family in our Fullerton School District, a district who, when given the opportunity for mask choice for students and employees, you all did so. May we not forget there are still some districts who continue to enforce masks. So for those children, unmasking is not an option, and so therefore we are not entirely free. Children are still suffering and will continue to suffer academically, socially, mentally, emotionally, if we do not stop these unnecessary guidelines, mandates, and upcoming bills. In the words of Lamar Burton, we cannot leave these kids behind, and these bills will do that. Just today, voted in Sacramento, the state of emergency, did you hear? It remains. And why? I'm not sure. I think a lot of us are asking that question today. But let's look at our own Fullerton School District campus cases updated today on 3/15/22. All of our 20 FSD school campuses. There are 2 positive cases out of 12,066 students and 0 positive cases for our 1,921 employees. Also, just in last night, on 3/14/29 at 9 p.m., Senate Bill 1390, the first gut and amend bill of 2022, introduced by Senator Pan. This gut and amend should alarm everyone, which would include no physician-patient privilege, no right to private medical records, no protection from law enforcement, no right to private medical decision-making, no right to decide what medicines your child should take, no right to talk about medicines, vaccines, or such content would be uploaded into a digital database and shared with the Attorney General. You'd be on a list. It's hard to alert, and it's hard to believe that that's even where our state is at right now and would be considering that, right? So the reason I even share SB 1390 is to alert our community of how quickly some bills are being introduced and other bills gutted and amended in the weeks to come. And these bills could definitely be there letting us know, our representatives, that these bills will be coming onto the floor of the California State Senate and Assembly. And we all really just need to ask ourselves right now, where are the areas that we can fight? Where can we each do our part? At FSD, we can make a firm opposition to these bills, SB 871, SB 866, AB 1993, and perhaps even more, in writing, in emails, with phone calls, in persons, in conversations in our community. I just had a 2-hour meeting 2 weeks ago with one of our Senate District 29 reps, assistant to Senator Josh Newman. And one item of great concern was the topic of SB 871, which would mandate COVID-19 vaccines to attend in-person schooling, removing the personal belief exemptions. The rep shared how our Senator Newman had great news on that. He said that parents who did not want to vaccinate their children with the COVID-19 vaccine shots could opt for an online program. And that wouldn't be so bad, because it would be great, because the state would still receive the funding for those students. I was shocked. Needless to say, a healthy conversation followed. But I ask you this, is it really about the funding? Or is it about the students, the children? For me, 871 segregates, discriminates, and goes against everything that an equitable education stands for. It must be stopped, or this will change everything. Dr. Pletka, we all appreciate your December letter to the governor. And board, we appreciate your stance on parent choice, which you have all declared. Thank you. Over 100 California schools have written resolutions, and I ask that this is our district's next step today. Board, I ask that before this meeting ends today, that one of you will please make a motion, and another one of you please make a second motion to add the topic to the April agenda to discuss the bills that you believe would be negatively impacting to our community. I am concerned that even April may be too late. So if there's any possibility for a resolution process to begin sooner, we ask this of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we've taken note on all those numbers, and we will talk about it with the superintendent. I know that we've discussed that a little bit, so, okay, all right. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being passionate about that. So, yeah, thank you. All right. We are ready to approve our minutes for the last meeting. So long ago.
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve the regular minutes of the February 8th meeting.
And thank you to Anna for stepping right in and doing lovely minutes.
Yes. Okay, all right. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, 5-0, thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Seconded to approve the agenda as it is. No, there are no modifications, correct? Okay, all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all right. Consent agenda. So anybody have anything you guys want to talk about? You want to pull to discuss? I think we already have gifts up there for Hilda.
Thank you. I want to comment on the gifts that this is $71,660+ and when you see where that money goes, it's very focused on students. And I am so proud of this community, parents, our partners, our foundations. $71,660+ for students. That is awesome. Yeah. And that's why we're able to do so many wonderful things for our students. I also wanted to point out that under our Chad, what is your thing called? The teachers?
Certification, the personnel report?
Certificated personnel. We have a huge quantity who are getting notices about layoffs because of the law. And it's very sad. We can say, oh, it's a form that we do every year. If you were one of those teachers, it wouldn't make you happy to get those letters telling you you're going to be released. And there's another law that is really not good. And I would like our union to help us have the state work on not making March 15th a date that we have to let teachers know they're going to be released. So those are the two things I think, 1 second. Yes, those were the two things.
Thank you, Hilda. Anybody else have anything about anything? No? Okay. With that said, thank you very much. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, thank you. All right. Moving along to our items. Item. Yes, tentative agreements.
Yes, so our first item this evening is our tentative agreement between the Fullerton School District and our Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association, FEDA. This is the tentative agreement for July 1, 2021 through June 30, 2022. We are very pleased to be able to bring this to you this evening. This is the result of long and ongoing collaborative negotiations between our FETA negotiations team and our FSD negotiations team, and we're happy to be able to bring this agreement to you this evening.
Right. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve or ratify the tentative agreement?
I'm thrilled to make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve or ratify the 2021-2022 tentative agreement between the Fullerton School District and Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association, effective July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Any other discussion or comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No? 5-0. Thank you. Thank you for all your work. Thank you. Okay, next one.
Yes, this is a memorandum of understanding between the California School Employees, CSEA Chapter 130, and the Fullerton School District regarding two stipends. They were not included as part of the original TA, however, they were negotiated with FETA, and as part of our Me Too provision, these are two stipends which will be provided to all classified employees that are represented by CSEA. One is a COVID-19 seamless service stipend, which they'll receive for their service during the pandemic to our community, to our staff, to our students. The second stipend is a social emotional learning professional development stipend, and this stipend will be provided to staff to be able to participate in some social emotional wellness and learning activities. We know that the pandemic has taken a toll on many of our staff members. We know that our employees have come to work and have continued to work and have not taken much time to stop and think about, wow, how is this impacting me? And we're very pleased to be able to have this available for our employees to have some time to reflect, think, and reflect on their own health and mental well-being to ensure that they have dealt with the issues as well that they have faced as part of the pandemic.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve this item.
I second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve or ratify the memorandum of understanding between CSEA Chapter 130 and the Fullerton School District regarding the COVID-19 seamless service stipend and emotional learning professional development stipend. Any other comments? I do have to say, I really, truly appreciate that. I think that for everyone out there that lives, this pandemic has taken a toll on everybody. Even for those that say it hasn't, it has. And for our students and for our staff, and to remind our staff that this is a time where they should take one of these little things just to manage themselves and to take care of themselves. And I think that we all forget about that. No matter where we are in life, no matter where we're at. I think it's very important that we do that. And I truly appreciate the fact that, that our staff have agreed to learn more about how to cope and how to help others. They say that you can't help anyone else unless you've helped yourself. So you have to stay strong in order to be strong for people. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. On that note, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? No? Thank you. All right, you're on a roll.
I am. The next item is providing the COVID-19 seamless service stipend and the social emotional learning professional development stipend for the district management employee, including all confidential employees, superintendent, assistant superintendents, and everyone who's part of the management team. Just like with our certificated and classified employees, we want to ensure that our management team as well is recognized for their work during COVID-19 and also is able to participate in and receive some additional training in social emotional support and learning.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to approve this item, the COVID-19 seamless service stipend and social emotional learning professional development stipend for Fullerton School District's management group, including confidential employees, superintendent, assistant superintendent business services, assistant superintendent educational services, assistant superintendent innovation and instructional support, and assistant superintendent personnel services for the 2021-2022 school year, effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
There you go. It's been moved.
Like our other employees.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now.
Like our other employees, this group of people put in more extra hours than anybody you could think of, maybe the President of the United States. And there is no way to thank them enough. And like Bev, I believe emotionally this has to take a toll. And it's probably a devastating toll in our hearts and on their families. And I think it's wonderful that we are offering this opportunity to our executive teams.
Okay, any other comments? I'm just going to add in that it looks like we're just approving these and not discussing them. This information, because it's bargaining and because it's personnel, we've had our information, and so this is not something that's brand new. This is something that we've been our teams have been negotiating for quite a while. So we have kept up to date on this. So even though it looks like we're not really commenting, we've had lots to say already. So we're just now at this part of it. So just to kind of give everyone an understanding if you don't have that already. All right. Those in favor of the item that Rooney has already read to us that I don't need to, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Thank you.
Our next item this evening is
You're still there.
Still here, yes. Sorry, you get
Just
me for a
kidding.
few more. Yes,
Just
I'm
kidding,
sorry.
just kidding.
Our next item is to approve the pupil attendance calendar for the 2023-2024 school year. One of our attempts always is to have a calendar that's available 2 years out so that families are able to know what they can expect as far as the academic and the pupil attendance calendar, and they can make plans for their families. So this item is brought to you. We had a first read at our last meeting, and we're bringing it back for approval this evening.
Do I have a motion before any comments to approve this?
I move to approve the pupil attendance calendar for the 2023-24 school year.
All right. It's
I'll
been
second.
Moved and seconded. Do we have anyone to comment on it?
Of course. At the last meeting, I mentioned that I have no evidence from the high school district that changing the start date of the school year and bringing our teachers back early in August and our students back in mid-August and not allowing families to travel and visit other families in this country who do not start school that early, that the high school district has not proven to us or given us any data that this is significant to the learning of students and that it has improved the test-taking ability of students in the high school district for either IB or AP, and therefore I will not vote for this.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Anyone have any other comments? All right, those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Me.
Okay, 4-1, thank you. Okay, item E, a revision.
Yes, this is a revision to our pupil attendance calendar for the 2021-2022 school year. That's this school year. What it does is it adds the Juneteenth holiday into the calendar for this current school year. So because it will impact our summer programs, we wanted to ensure that that was added to the pupil attendance calendar.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to approve this item.
Okay, it's been moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the item to revise the pupil attendance calendar for the 2021-2022 school year to incorporate the holiday. Any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. F?
Yes, item F is very similar to item E. It's making the same revision to our 2022-2023 pupil attendance calendar, and that addition is to add the Juneteenth holiday.
Thank you. A motion?
I motion to approve.
Okay. Okay, it's been motioned and seconded that we approve the revision to the pupil attendance calendar for 2022-2023 school year to incorporate the holiday. Any comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? 5-0. Okay. All right, I think you're done with yours. All right, and now our school board has an opportunity to approve our 2022 California School Board Association Delegate Assembly election. So each year, we belong to the California School Board Association, and they have delegates that represent us on the group that talks about, legislative areas. And so each time this comes up, we have the opportunity to choose a certain number of people. This time, I believe it is 7 seats that we can vote for and put our tallies in out of 10 candidates. Hopefully, my board members have had an opportunity to take a look at those candidates. And in the past, what we've just kind of done is gone around to see if anyone has any must-haves on people that you believe in, and if it's more than 7, then we can negotiate the rest of them. Does that sound like it will work? Yeah? Okay.
I just want to comment before we did anything that I think it's important we just don't vote for 7 because we have that opportunity, that we take some thought. I know we take thought, but I mean, I don't think
We don't have to do 7 if we don't want
have to do 7, and it's really good if people know people.
Mhm.
And the third thing I'd like to comment on is it's nice to have a balance from different school districts to give different views and opinions. That was it.
Okay. All right. Does anyone want to start?
Well, I'll jump in.
Okay.
I have 4 that I feel strongly about, and if you've got your papers in front of you, Michelle Bardo, John Briscoe, Lauren Brooks, and Carrie Buck.
Okay, you said Carrie Buck.
Lauren Brooks, John
Lauren
Briscoe.
Brooks, wait a minute, let me get Lauren Brooks, John Briscoe.
And Michelle Bardo.
I have a
Michelle.
tendency to go for some of the incumbents because they have knowledge and background and history, and I also like to see a couple of new people come on board, and so I balanced it out partially for that reason.
I know Michelle, and
Uh-huh.
so I think that's a very good choice.
Mhm.
So,
I agree.
anyone want to add? I won't add mine yet.
Michael?
I'll
Okay.
add. I just have one, Carrie Buck.
Okay.
I know her pretty well from the Placentia Collaborative and some of the work that I've done outside of here. So that's pretty much the only other person that I've really interacted with.
Okay.
So
All right.
still not adding too much into this, but
It's all right. Anyone?
Anne Marie.
Anna Marie. Trejo from Anaheim. Another longtime PTA folks beforehand, yeah. Hilda, you have more to add?
Michael, he's an important person. He is on the county
Committee.
board for Orange County School Boards, and he gives legislative reports on a regular basis and represents us. So I think it's important to keep him on the whole thing. And if you're interested, Lynn Davis, he comes from a different place. He works for a firm that helps school boards pass school bond elections. He works with, what's the name of the lady we used last time, Janie? The time before when we passed our thing. I can't think of her name. He works with her.
Okay.
And he got a master's in Harvard in business, so he comes from a different place than most of the people who come from education. So I think he offers a different voice.
That may be why I have a question mark by him.
Oh, so
but
if we don't want to do
no,
it, that's okay
I
with
just had a question, so I'm glad to hear some input. I don't know who he is. I wonder why I have that question mark.
I would like to have Candace Kern from Cyprus.
That's 7.
1, 2,
I think.
3,
That's my
1,
only
2,
one that I
3,
feel real
4,
strongly
5,
about.
6, 7. That's 7.
Let's go with it.
Okay, so is that a no? If we do Lynn, that's 8?
No, I think it's
No,
7.
that's 7.
Oh.
Oh, and Anne Marie, that's right. That is 8.
1,
So
2, 3,
you could
4,
take Lynn
5,
off.
6, 7. Yeah, okay. I'm good with leaving that off.
Taking Lynn off?
Mhm.
Okay. So it would be Michelle Bartow, John Briscoe, Lauren Brooks, Carrie Buck, Candace Kern, Anne Marie Randall Trejo, and Michael Simmons. That would be 7. Is that good? Okay, all those in favor of those delegates, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. 5-0. Pretty well balanced. Okay. Oh, we're not done yet, are we? Okay.
Oh, now we have fun. We talk
We have,
money.
yes, yes. It is a budget update, second interim report. Take it away.
President Berryman, board members, Superintendent Pletka, cabinet members, and guests. As you're aware, this last weekend, we changed our clocks forward an hour. And I don't know, if, like you, it's kind of been messing with my sleep patterns. Been having a hard time getting to sleep. And I thought it was because of this last weekend, but then I realized, no, it's because of the upcoming presentation, second interim, and the excitement that all builds around that.
Excitement.
So that's what that is. If you had trouble sleeping
It's
this
because
week,
we knew this was coming
yes,
up.
you knew, you were waiting, you
Lost sleep.
Anticipation, correct.
There's some years that we do lose sleep.
Not this year. So we're here tonight to present the second interim report, and so we're going to advance this.
I really don't love
Look at
this thing
that.
behind my head.
Okay, so the second interim report, it reviews our financial status from the beginning of the school year to January 31st. We kind of cut it off. It's a snapshot. Where are we on January 31st? It takes the month of February and first couple weeks of March to put it together. We also look at the first or the next 2 years after that. It's a requirement of that report. And so what we're going to do is we're going to compare what's changed from first interim when we were here in December to now. It's second interim. And some good news. Revenue is up a little bit. Our LCFF revenue increased about $1.23 million. And the question is, well, how did that happen? We had more families, and it's not surprising that in these difficult times qualified for free and reduced meals, and it increased our counts almost by 6%. And we didn't get all 6% in 1 year as an average, but it now put us into a new category of receiving funds, concentration funds. Districts that have more needs receive more funds, and those funds then go for those students who have more needs. So we're pleased with that. Expenditures basically stayed the same. We did go through, and as you know, when we budget at the beginning of the year, we budget for, I call it a spend out budget. We don't know what's going to happen. And so as the year goes on, we're able to adjust accordingly. We were able to reduce some of our certificated positions that were, as you know, we've had a hard time filling many positions. Some of the employee benefits, we look at those. Costs have gone down. Books and supplies, basically the same. So all in all, our expenditures pretty much held to what they were at first interim. So when you look at this, overall, from first interim to second interim, when you take into account the additional revenue and the change in expenditures, our ending balance increased about $1.13 million. Down below, what we have to do, though, is we have an ending balance of about $32 million. We have to break that apart. We have some non-spendable funds. We have our 3% reserve for economic uncertainties. Remember, at the last board meeting, we committed some funds, $7.5 million, for future uncertainties with our facilities. As we know, our facilities are very old and never know what's going to happen as far as needs. And also, enrollment is still a little questionable in the future, and we need to be prepared for that. Some of the assumptions, and they are assumptions that we use when we put together this year's budget and future year budgets, is we rely on certain sources of information. One of them is School Services of California. I know the associations attended those conferences with us, and it's the best estimate. I don't even say it's the best guess, but based on what we know today, it's what do we think the future is going to be like. And as FEDA President Mark Jacobs mentioned, inflation is continuing to rise, which will then have an impact on the cost of living. And so when you see a cost of living adjustment, COLA for next year, it's gone up to 5.33%, we think, wow, that's great. We're getting 5.33%, but that's just to get you to even, right? That's a cost of living adjustment, right? So it's just to get you to even. And so, but in the future, that has changed a little bit. Those COLAs are up based on the inflation. We're funded on our ADA when students come to school, and it's on the current year or the prior year, whichever is higher. And for the last 2 years, we've been held harmless because of COVID, and we've heard about this cliff that is happening. And the cliff is happening next year. We have had reductions of about 1,300 students over the last 2 years. We've been funded on those 1,300 students, but that ends next year unless in the budget there is some language that will make a softer landing. We believe that's going to happen. However, we've been advised by School Services of California and also the County Office of Education not to put that in to the second interim. We don't know that, if that's going to happen for sure. So we can't budget on something that we don't know for sure.
Did they tell you, would it be ADA or would it be enrollment?
So what they would do is they would look at your ADA, and it would be a 3-year average. And so it would take us 3 years. That cliff, instead of happening in 1 year, it would be spread out over time, which would be great.
I have another question. That 5.33%, the COLA, does that cover all employees or not?
So what they do is, for example, let's just use a number. If we receive $100 million and they say you're going to receive the same amount next year, but now there's a COLA of 5.33%, then we would receive next year an extra $5,330,000. That is money that comes into the district. And from there, once we receive that money, then we start, okay, well, what are our costs for that year? What are our costs for salaries as far as step and column? Just as families and our employees are are experiencing higher priced fuel and materials, we're experiencing that too. And so our costs also go up. And it's from that additional money that we then cover our costs. So it's not all available money.
Thank you.
We put up there concentration funding, as I talked about. Our averages went up. The number of families on free and reduced went up. And so for this year, we saw an increase just on the concentration funding of about $860,000. For next year, because it's a rolling average, we will see an additional 1.7, and then after that, $2.6 million in those years. We've had a rolling average of unduplicated pupil percentage count of about 54%. We're going to end up probably at about 58%. That's where we're averaging.
Do you see that moving at all? Because that could easily change, and then you lose your concentration grant, correct?
So correct, but again, because it's a 3-year, if for some reason it went down, we benefit from the years that we've had, because it stays with you for 3 years. So if you had a high year, that number is going to stay with you for 3 years. So we went up to 60%. We've been conservative when we've budgeted that number. We feel that it's not going to stay at 60%. We've actually think next year maybe things could get better, and it could be 58%. So we budgeted conservatively. We're not budgeting as if it's going to continue to go higher and higher. That's on an average actually coming down a little bit. Lottery maintains the same, and then also we put up there what our average LCFF dollars are per ADA. So that's on the revenue side. On the expenditure side, you can see that we do have some costs. There's some things that we know about. We know that we have what districts refer to as step and column. So even though there is no raise given, as when you move from one year to the next, you receive additional salaries. So we have to budget for that amount. STRS and PERS rates, those are the pensions, those are continuing to go up. Now the good news is next year, STRS is finally capping out at almost, I believe it's almost 17%. It used to be 8.25%, so it's doubled. It has doubled over the last 10 years or so. PERS will continue to rise into 23, 24. We have put in second interim. We have budgeted for next year $1.8 million next year and the following year for social emotional learning programs and mental health programs. These are programs that are already in the budget. They were in the budget this year. We were able to use some one-time COVID funds, but we know those one-time COVID funds are going to be going away. They're still very important programs, so we have included that in the budget for the next 2 years. And we also know that our enrollment is declining. We have less students entering the system than are leaving. Our 8th grade classes are larger than our kinder classes. And so every year we lose a couple hundred. The adjustment up there of the 12 FTEs, that's when your enrollment goes down, then staff goes down. It makes sense. And it's through attrition. It's not through any layoffs. It's through attrition that this takes place. And so we budget accordingly for that. In a way, it kind of offsets the amount of money. You see the step and column increases, and then you have the attrition.
I see the 12 full-time teachers and the 13, except we don't have children leaving like a whole class at one school. And so going from, let's say, 28 students to 27, we can't eliminate a teacher from that school. How do we come up with a number like 12?
So we look at the overall number of what we're going down, and we kind of divide by how many students do we budget per teacher. Keep in mind that in our district we do what's referred to as intra-district transfers, so within. So when there are openings at other schools, that then allows people to shift. And I'd like to say it kind of magically happens, and kind of magically happens. Students, our openings come up, it does move around, and there are times, though, where we do have to create combo classes, and that is a choice that's made when it comes to combo's bad.
Rob, can I jump in here real quick?
Sure.
So the 8th grade class that's leaving is a bigger class than the TK and kinder coming in. So where the bulk of the classes, the new 7th grade class is smaller than the 8th grade. So at one level, you do have a massive amount of kids, like you have whole classes of kids that are leaving and less kids coming in. And that's not just true at 8th grade. So the 4th grade class this year has less kids than the 3rd grade that will become the 4th grade. So you actually are seeing an exodus like with full classes of kids. So.
That is correct. Overall, the vast majority, you have more 8th graders leaving than the ones coming in. That is correct.
But also, we can accept children transferring into a school to bring a number down somewhere else, or to increase a number to make a full class.
That does happen sometimes, yes.
And the FTE is
So
across
school
the
choice
district.
is good.
Across the district, correct. Correct. So I have two multi-year projections here. I have one that's in the report, the second interim report, which is what the board is approving tonight. And then the next one is, and you'll notice that there's a surplus in there. You see that we started the year with $28.46 million and we're ending with 32.6. Well, why is that? That's great, a surplus. It's because in the second interim, we did not put in, because the board took action tonight for the salary increases. So that's why you'll see that up there. That's why it ties to this. It probably would be best to just go to the next slide, since you've already approved it, of where we're at. And you'll see that we started the year with $28.46 million, and we're finishing with, we're estimating at about $28.58 million. So basically a balanced budget for this year. These are the unrestricted funds, not the restricted funds. We're focusing on the unrestricted funds. Next year, we are projecting just a slight deficit for next year, slight deficit, and then a deficit in the out year. And what I've seen, and we've seen this before, that out year and that third year out, a lot can happen, and a lot does. So it's on there, it's on the radar, but it's a comet that's meteor that's way out there, right? But so it's on the radar. Let me go back to this. Are there any questions on this slide here? All in all, this is we talk about. This is a good budget. This is good news. And keep in mind, this is the worst case scenario with the ADA, that there's no relief, that the cliff happens. If the cliff doesn't happen, there will be additional funds that would come in. So it's worst case scenario. So moving forward, again, we always proceed with caution. There's some things that we know about. There's some things we don't know about. Certainties, straight line enrollment decreases. We know that we have more 8th graders leaving than the kinder students that are coming in. We know that. Rising health costs, that's a certainty. We know that in the short term. Current inflation, we know that. That's a certainty. That's not going to go away overnight. And we have our rising STRS and PERS pension rates. The uncertainties are what's happening with all these world events, and what's the impact going to be on the economy? What's the impact going to be on the stock market? As the stock market goes, so goes the revenue in California, of which we're funded. So that's an uncertainty we need to kind of keep an eye on. Inflation rates, how long are they going to keep going up? That's an uncertainty. Declining enrollment, are we going to see more than average declining in enrollment? And then COVID-19 and possibly future variants. We hope we don't see anything else, but that is still an uncertainty, and we need to be prepared for that. So with that, recommendation by staff is that the second interim be approved as with a positive certification. You can have a positive certification, a qualified certification, or a negative certification. Positive means we can meet our financial obligations for the current plus 2 years, which we can. And our next steps is we submit this to the County Office of Education. We wait for the May revise. We wait for Sacramento to adopt a budget. We then come back and proceed with our LCAP, and we'll present that in May and in June, adopt the budget for next year, and then the cycle starts all over again. Those are our steps. So with that, I do want to thank our director, Melissa Greenwood, assistant director, Damian Barra, and Joanne, and all of the other business staff, and not only just business services, it's ed services, it's human resources, it's everybody coming together because all of the different divisions make up this report. So I want to thank them for that, working on this report. And with that, we'll take any questions that you may have.
I have one question for you. On page 7.
Of the presentation.
Yeah, sorry. When you talk about the average LCFF dollars per ADA, I think there's a lot of, when you hear people talk and they talk about, oh, this is how much you have as your base funding. When you look at those amounts at the bottom there, is that our base fund? Is that our base, or what does that, if you were to explain that to somebody and they were asking Fullerton School District, what is your base funding per 80, per person?
It's everything. It's all of, you take all of the LCFF dollars, which are the base, supplemental, concentration funds, divided by the number of students, that's where you're at. And every district is different because every district receives different supplemental funds, different concentration funds. Some places actually have received more funds because they're what we call basic aid districts, where they bring in more property tax money than is needed, and they get to keep that. We're not in that situation here. So that's a difficult conversation that we have to have when some districts are receiving more money than other districts and than us.
Somebody was floating a $20,000 ADA.
Per student.
Yeah.
That would be a basic aid district.
Yeah, I know, it was like $20,000.
I think there are only 3 of them in the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
3 or 5, something like that.
Just because they receive a lot of money
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's a great place to work. Like Fullerton School District. Little plug, Fullerton School District, a great place to work.
Well, they're small, yeah. Laguna Road or Laguna Beach.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
I move we approve the district's second interim financial report with a positive certification.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the second interim report with a positive certification. Any other questions or comments, other than thank you guys for doing such a wonderful job? We appreciate it. It's nice to have a positive certification. So, okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.
I'd like to add one other thing. I would like to thank the associations, because when we work with the associations, we share this information with them about the future, and it's not always easy. But the associations understand that the district we need to be fiscally stable, fiscally responsible. So it's not an easy conversation to have. But I want to thank them for also working on this.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Moving on to our next presentation. Oh, so it's we're approving a couple board policy on transitional kindergarten. Were there any comments after the first read on that?
I love it. Dr. Lai said that perhaps the state is going to pay for all of our students to have transitional kindergarten.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
that
heard.
means they'd have an extra year of education. And I think that's awesome if that happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Just if you have any questions, otherwise, we would approve the policy as it is.
Okay. So no changes. Is there a
Do you
motion?
want to make a motion?
Somebody else can make a motion.
Oh, approve revised board policy 6170.1. Is that the right one?
Yes. Been
Transitional kindergarten.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been approved and seconded that we approve revised board policy 6170.1 for transitional kindergarten until we have to update it again. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0.
Just one quick aside. The TK, the policies that you see are the result of new programs for transitional kinder. So at this point for 4-year-olds, so it's moving down, we will be offering full-day transitional kinder for the first time at all our schools.
Wow.
So it's a new program piece, and I know many parents have asked for it. And so this kind of moves in line with kind of that early childhood development and offering expanded services for all kids.
Is there a date that you have to be 4?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
in
it's
that
in the-
policy.
Go ahead.
It's in the policy, and it's a sliding date, and the date changes every year to finally get to the point of where it's a date in September. But right now, for like the coming up school year, it'll be a February date that you have to be 4, and then it will move 2 months. It'll move to April, then it'll move to July, and then we'll finally move to September.
Thank you. You might have a little grandchild going to TK pretty soon. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy. Where are we? Oh, you guys have done so much work.
You ready?
Yes. You're always doing a lot of work. In addition to that, could you tell us about your website?
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to throw that up there. Okay, so we are looking at changing our website. So that's basically the company that provides our full web hosting. There's actually 4,000 websites in Fullerton School District we discovered as we were trying to figure out how much this would cost. So you might only go to like 3 of them, but there are tons of them there, and you click around and you click, and like I started exploring just my own department. When I got to 100, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's lots of websites out here. So what happens is we wanted to look at something a little bit better. We like Edlio. They did great when they were first adopted, which was about 4 years ago, and they had great technology at that time. But there's a couple of items that we don't like, and part of it is they didn't improve much over the last 3 years. So they started to stagnate their technology, and when we were asking for things, there was always a roadmap with no timeline. So it was sort of a way off, kind of a yes, this might happen. Some accessibility things where we always keep an eye on. It's something called WCAG 2.1. What it is it's all the things you have to do to make your website accessible for those who have sight or disabilities or who have hearing disabilities. And Edlio doesn't do what we want it to do. It makes it very difficult for us to keep up with the ADA requirements. Their customer service is also slow, so we've decided we needed a change over the last year. We didn't want to do it right in the middle of COVID. It was actually about a year ago. We're like, we should change. We're like, well, not right now. So we're going slow to go fast. So you ask, how do we get there? Well, we're part of a thing called the EdTech JPA. We're one of the founding members. It's a wonderful joint powers authority that we helped found, and we represent about 1.3 million students right now and 100 LEAs. And what happens is we can go out for something like websites. So 13 different vendors said we would like to participate in this big RFP, and Fullerton and Irvine were the ones who rated everybody. So we actually came up with all the pages of requirements, and then we rated them along with Irvine, and 11 companies were awarded. So Edlio wasn't even awarded. They don't even qualify to be purchased by any of our members because they didn't meet the bare minimums that we asked for. So we helped design that RFP, and then we got a lowest cost in California guarantee. By representing 1.3 million students, it's like we're LA Unified. We get to roll in and say, hey, we're buying like one district, and by contract, they guarantee us the lowest price, and then everyone in California that joins the JPA can then get that lowest price guarantee. So what is our process? We went back and reviewed the 11 that we had scored that had passed, and we selected the top 3. Then we got a committee together. So we invited people from FETA, CSTA, FSMA, PTA, Champions for Children, DLAC, Board of Trustees. So we brought in a large group. We did a number of online webinars where we walked through a couple of different examples of the websites. One of the most important parts was really what would it look like on a mobile device. If you've tried looking at ours on a mobile device, it's not great on a phone, right? And actually, we're at like 65, 70% of our hits come from mobile devices now. So it's actually more important that it looks great on a mobile device than it does on a regular iPad or on a laptop. So that was a big deal for us. That was an important part of our process. So why was Blackboard chosen? There are a number of reasons for that we chose Blackboard. One was flexibility. They were very willing to customize for us. The websites that we looked at that we liked had some custom aspects to it. And we were asking, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we move it over here? Absolutely. It's all part of that package is customization. So that's a big deal. But also how dynamic it is for mobile, for the iPad, and for that laptop or desktop. Translation ability was a big deal as well. Translation was very fluid, and the translation didn't kick you out to another site like a lot of them do. So it actually stays right inside the browser, so it didn't block it when people were trying inside to go out. Like, it actually lives right inside of Blackboard, which is great. Interoperability, this was a big deal for us too, because it came down to, we already use the mobile app and we use the parent messaging system from Blackboard. So what happens now is it'll all work together. So if there's an emergency and we need to send a text, a phone call, an email, and put something on the website for 5 schools because there's a lockdown or there's a dangerous situation, we can do it instantly from one platform and it hits everything at once. So we're not, let's go send a parent message, let's get it out on the app, let's go over here to the website and figure out the website. It's all one interface. So it'll help us with efficiency. It'll also help our schools, because as they do their parent messaging, it can be pushed right through the website as well. So that's a great piece for us.
Would it also push it through the teacher sites at that school?
It can if their teacher sites are on Blackboard, but most of our teachers these days are not actually using these as websites because the information sort of stagnates. So they put it up in the beginning of the year, it's very exciting, here's who I am, and here's a picture of my dog, my family. But then what they do is they go over to Google Classroom, or they go to Seesaw, or they go somewhere else, and they're interacting on a constant basis with their students. So they've done less as far as the websites. However, they can, and it's actually incredibly easy to use. To make these websites, there's like 10 widgets on the side, just drag it over. I want Twitter, I want whatever it is, they pull it in. It's very easy to build if they want to. So for our departments and sites who will be building, it is so much easier than Edlio. It's amazing how easy it is. That accessibility is a big deal too. What we're about to hit is a point where with PDFs, we'd actually have to pull down the 1,000 PDFs we have and we'd have to turn them into being accessible to screen readers and things like that. But they use a program called Ally, and it's built in. And what it does is every PDF that we publish will now have a little A next to it. And it will now turn it into 6 different formats automatically. It will automatically turn it into an audio. You can download an audiobook. It'll turn it into an e-reader format. It'll turn it into a screen reader for those that are visually impaired. So it automatically has 6 that can automatically go, and it works with like JAWS screen readers and other software. So we're excited for that possibility and that sort of ease of use that we're going to see as we move over. So the price is great. We got a great discount by bundling. So they went back and looked at our messaging and our mobile app costs, and they cut those down in order to get us to in order to negotiate, because we were already at lowest price in California, and we can't renegotiate because we're a founding member of the JPA and we can't go around that price. But they said, well, we will cut your messaging price down if you go with us, because now you're all buying from one place, like when you bundle your home and auto. Okay, so same kind of concept. So we're getting a great price. We're very excited. It will be much better than what we have now and much easier for us to use. If you approve tonight, we can actually start tomorrow with moving everything over, and then July 1 will be launched, but we'll have this entire time where we'll be in the background changing all the sites, helping principals get everything ready to go, so we're able to launch it July 1 as a full-blown website for the
Will there be any downtime?
No, because it'll still be live. Everything we do now will be live while we're moving things over to Blackboard. So our hope is out of those 4,000 pages, we'll realize we don't need all of them, and we'll move over what's necessary and what's important by department. And if we need to, we can go a couple more months if it's because it's always a lot on our plates. So if it's a little too much to go that fast, we can go a couple more months with Ed Leo and just pay month to month.
And you're going to put school board agenda in a place that parents can actually find it.
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you.
Yes, sure.
Just in time for spring cleaning, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Spring cleaning website's interesting.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that presentation. It's a lot of money, and I think you guys did a lot of work in there, so thank you for sharing that with us.
Welcome.
Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve the new contract between FSD and Blackboard for district-wide website services.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and approved that we approve the contract. Anyone else, any other comments? No. Right. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, 5-0. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Administrative reports. So we have one board policy, two board policy, three board policies for a first read. Anyone going to
Yes,
talk
I'm
about those?
back
Oh,
again.
there you are.
You thought I was gone, but I'm back again.
You're back.
There you go. Yes, I'm sorry, I don't quite have that much talent, but pretty close.
Oh, yes, you do.
I would like to actually cover all three of these with the same opening.
Yes.
We regularly review our board policies. We look at those board policies in comparison to what CSBA, the California School Boards Association, puts out as model policies, and we also compare them based on what's being recommended by legal counsel as far as transparency and making sure that we have board policies that match with the authority that's already been given to the district and the board under the education code. So in this case, these three board policies are all new policies to us as a district, and these policies are in place to make sure that we have transparency and we're able to describe the education code, that's rights that are already granted to the board and the district in relationship to fees and charges, preschool and early childhood development, and child care and development. So we would encourage the board to review those, provide us with any feedback, we can make changes, and we are planning on bringing these three policies back to the board for a second read and potential approval at the next meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you. That was all three of those. Okay, now we've got a board presentation on outdoor science camp.
Hello again, President Berryman, Board of Trustees. I have a brief camp update for you. Spoiler alert, I am going to reveal the common theme in all these slides. Happy kids and rich outdoor experiences. So we have 6 of our schools. I gave them a very difficult challenge. I asked the principals to, in 2 slides, condense the experience. In no way do these slides do justice to the experiences students have had. And I am just so proud to even be able to state that the Fullerton School District have all 20 sites, either who have attended or plan to attend either an outdoor science camp experience or a field trip in person. I know we did some virtual models previous years, but to state that all schools will have an in-person experience is an awesome report to make. So I am going to begin. Thank you, Anna, for helping me move through the slides. Actually, no, maybe this will help me move through the slides. We have Raymond Elementary School, and I feel a little embarrassed actually presenting this slide with Mark Jacobs in the room. I know he would do a much better job with this, so forgive me, Mark. Maybe you can just stand up here and add some verbiage. Help me out here. They went to Camp High Trails, which is outside of Big Bear City, and the 6th graders typically go the 3rd week of January when they're able to see snow. And I know that's a treat in living in California. The benefits seen by the community, they build stronger bonds with teachers and peers, and I know that the students are able to see teachers in a whole different light too. Helps build confidence and self-esteem, strengthens relationships with one another, and mitigates challenging behaviors, and enhances relationships between the home and school. It is like a rite of passage for 6th graders for a lot of schools, and they're just so excited and anxious about their experience, and it builds up. And Camp High Trails has the best value for its price. I feel like a little ad here, right, for Camp High Trails. Students pay through parent, PTA, and school donations. All scholarships are offered, and students fundraise, which is kind of the fun of, earning your way through to Science Camp as well. It builds a lot of ownership for their experience, and every student and parent that wants to go goes. And that's in capital letters, by the way. Okay, and this is just a quick glimpse so you can see what they saw in just a little camera lens there, through a camera
I see a
lens.
little tiny bit of snow, though.
Snow and just the rock climbing, the outdoor experience. It's just fun to be out with your friends and be silly. And teachers are not. Yeah.
Before, many times. Not this year. I'm ringing the bell.
And beauty of Science Camp too is the teachers are able to really interact with their students in a whole different level. They're not put in the role as the counselor per se, so you can have a lot of fun with them, and then look at the counselor as a role makers, right? Sometimes. I'm going to move forward. Mark, would you like to add anything? No? Did I do okay? Thank you. Okay, Maple. And if Anthony Abney was in the room, I know he would knock it out of the park as well. Maple's mission is to provide a world-class education through experiential learning. Therefore, all students in grades 4 through 6 attend 3-day immersive field trips for free. 4th and 6th graders are currently attending Astro Camp, and they experience physics, engineering, lights and lasers, solar studies, astronomy, rocketry, atmosphere and gases, and the list goes on. And the 5th graders go to Catalina Island. They snorkel, kayak, and they see fish. I want to say they fish sharks. No, they don't do that. They see fish, sharks, rays, skates, invertebrates, the marine mammals, plankton, algae. They learn about just a plethora of topics over there. And once again, it's a whole different feel at Catalina Island. So we're just so happy to report Maple. This is a part of their school vision, actually, is to provide these experiences through Astro Camp and through Catalina. And I don't even think this one slide did justice. I know Anthony Abney probably struggled to fit the pictures. He shared with me a Google Drive, actually.
I just want to comment that the Ed Foundation gives money for these 2 camps, and the students, he said 60% or more of his students don't know how to swim. So in order to do this, they were put in these wetsuits that are actually non-sinkable wetsuits, so that they went in the water and they could have the experience, including the snorkel type experience, and even though they did not know how to swim. And he said it was really exciting for them and for the staff.
That's awesome.
And they wore the same type things for kayaking and all of that.
I mean, these are experiences of a lifetime for students as well.
But it
and for
points
teachers.
out we need to teach swimming somehow, give them some.
Yes.
No, seriously, they need to have some sort of opportunities to learn to swim. We used to have that at Independence Park.
Right. Next, we have Fern Drive. Fern Drive, you can see another picture of snow. They go to camp to they camp at Cedar Crest in Running Springs. It's a 4 to 5 day overnight program. They take nature hikes. They learn about astronomy, forest ecology, geology, wildlife biology. They do a lot of team building activities. And it is a tradition, once again, at Fern Drive for all 6th grade students to attend, with fundraising opportunities and scholarships that are offered. Here are some pictures to highlight Fern Drive. And there's a lot more snow here in these pictures. And snow adds another element to the experience.
Yeah, in that cabin, I'm sure it's not very warm.
No insulation in there.
For sure not. Is it? Oh, neat.
All right, and we have Rolling Hills. Rolling Hills goes to Camp High Trails for 4 days each December. They do fundraising as well through Seas Candy, and their scholarships available. They have day hikes, environment courses, night hikes, learn about nocturnal animals. They have experience with archery. orienteering, and of course campfires are part of the whole campfire and camp experience. They also have team building activities that strengthen existing friendships, and this was the highlight that the principal emphasized. They form new friendships through other classes, and this is sometimes the experience that students have is when they're in separate sixth grade classes, they get to go together and grouped in different ways, they get to form new friendships. It's a long-standing tradition and a rite of passage for our sixth graders. And this year, my FSD sixth graders joined our campus learners for the experience.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Yep, here are some pictures. Happy kids.
Camp food is really good because when you're really hungry,
Yeah, you're hungry. Yeah.
doesn't matter what it is, it's
What it
really
is,
good.
it all
Yeah.
tastes good.
And they teach you table manners there too. So and you have to do chores. You have to take up your utensils, pick up after yourself. Right, right. It's all part of the fun. We have Richmond sixth grade camp to Astro Camp, and they engaged in the following activities. Orientation to snorkeling, a day hikes, water balloon, lunar landers, astronomy program, learned about lights and lasers. The classes were held inside an inflatable planetarium. Forces and planetary sciences were taught, including electricity, magnetism, solar labs were offered, and they had snow time, and it was the first time seeing snow for many students. Here's some more pictures of snow.
I think snow's overrated.
Too cold for you?
Lots of learning, lots of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And last but not least, we have Woodcrest. And they went to Catalina Island Marine Institute this year. They were able to take that boat ride from Long Beach to Catalina. They had the snorkeling orientation, mini ecology hikes. They did low, high ropes, climbing walls. They learned about fish, shark, invertebrates, algae labs, had a 3-hour kayaking trip, astronomy program, oceanography lab. They did squid dissection. Yum. Tide pools, campfire with storytelling skits and s'mores, which is a part of the tradition, free exploration on the beach, which is always fun, and they had volleyball, soccer, and table tennis. And here are pictures of more happy kids and teachers. I love the kayaking pictures. It makes me feel very relaxing. The pictures on water makes me want to go and learn kayaking. Okay. And with that, it concludes the update from 6 schools, and we will provide the board through a communique regarding the other schools that have booked camps in the following months. We have Fistler, Golden Hill, Hermosa, Laguna Road. They're going in April. We have Pack Drive in May, and we have some school sites that are also taking advantage of field trips and doing a science week and even possible trips to Knott's Berry Farm. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, go.
I was just saying, how about Washington D.C.? Are we still doing? Are the 8th graders?
Yes,
still doing
8th grades are. 8th grade does
Okay,
Washington
all right.
D.C. during their spring break normally.
And it seems like it's like coming up.
Fast. No, thank you so much. I know I had requested for this to be a presentation to us, but then also more for the community as well to
Yes.
understand kind of some of the schools, what they're doing for 6th grade science camp. Because me growing up, I didn't go to science camp, and when me and my wife met, and obviously having our oldest boy, during COVID, he didn't get to enjoy that.
Right,
So I wanted to understand more about what the district is doing for that. So, and she made it a big deal, and I was like, well, I didn't know because I didn't go through that myself. But just wanted to highlight that for a lot of our schools so the community understands and knows that every school has an opportunity for this, and their kid has that same opportunity, at every school. And I think it's really huge and really important as you see a lot of those highlights, building those friendships outdoors, not just with students, but with teachers and staff. I think that's like amazing, and I just want to make sure that the community understands that, and we see it both in the presentation, and we can highlight that maybe at the school site with the new website, Jeremy. Because I think that it brings that more, like, that bond, like, that it's a family at these schools that everyone cares. And especially 6th grade, right? We're sending them off to junior high. We all know junior high is, a little challenging as I'm going through right now with my 7th grader. But again, I mean, so I want to thank you for that and I want to continue highlighting a lot of those schools that are doing these amazing things out there
Right.
for people to understand and know what we have to offer. So again, just another kudos to
Yep.
the district for all the amazing work that we're doing.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
that. And it's just kudos to the principals and staff who
Yes.
see also the importance of science camp and giving students the experience and that are just so committed. I will tell you, Mark was one of the first. It was in January. It was tough, and there's some red tape around safety and whatnot, but we said, how can we make it work? And it starts with that conversation. And so we're just so happy to report this tonight. And thank you so much, Trustee Talavera, for, allowing us to present on this. I had a fun story with Dr. Bob on my experiences at sixth grade camp. I had a fun story to share with him, and I still remember my Camp Wango song. So it's just memories you take with you for a lifetime.
I hope you have the opportunity to chaperone since you didn't go, because I didn't have camp growing up either, and I actually went twice.
Yeah. So that's the funny part of it. So I've been chaperoning at some camps in the past prior to, it's been many years, but I've chaperoned, and that's kind of what brought that passion as well as like that education component of going to camp. I didn't understand it growing up, and but when I was chaperoning, that's kind of what triggered that a little bit, and was a little bummed obviously last year with COVID that my boy wasn't able to experience that. But again, I just want to make sure that we're highlighting that as well too, and the community knows what we have to offer. But yeah, it's amazing just the way they learn, and like to me, the outdoor classroom for me is one of the key things too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I chaperoned I chaperoned both of them, but the one thing that I remember is I took a Dramamine because we did a boat trip. I can't take medication, FYI. That Shark Tank that I was standing at, I think I fell asleep standing up. The chaperone fell asleep on the dock while everyone is running around. I couldn't go the next time. They wouldn't let me go again. I was out. It's that mom. Oh, gosh. Look at Mrs. Beebe over there.
Well, there are many stories at camps, but
Yes.
most of them should stay at camp.
Yeah.
That's my comment.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. We're on our last item, possible requests for future items from our board members.
I'd like to see us go ahead and make a discussion on AB 871 and maybe 1993.
And also, if it comes forward, SB 1390.
So you want to put all three of those on?
Yeah, and we, first, maybe we can have a report from the district, a little memo on our communique on the three.
So you're looking for information?
Like a summary of the.
Yeah.
A summary to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay.
I second her.
Okay, it's second, so.
And then I have
Second.
another, I like your idea of the camp. I think it'd be interesting to find out what's happening with Washington DC and the eighth graders. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, it's next week. They always go at spring break.
no, but have a little report.
Oh, have her start taking pictures.
A picture.
Okay. All right, anything else? Okay, where'd that come from? Am I hearing things? I think I'm hearing things. Oh, no. Thank you, everyone, for all of your participation. Thank you for coming. Thank you for speaking. Thank you to our board. Thanks for everybody. And on that note, we are adjourned.